Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's excellent podcast. Today we have a big tournament episode. I hope you're all ready for some good times and fun activities. Let us begin with the first fight.
Excuse me. What are you doing?
I'm starting the episode. What are you doing?
What on earth do you think you are doing? First of all, that's how I open episodes. Second of all, aren't you forgetting to do something here?
I don't want to do it.
What do you mean you don't want to do it?
I don't want to do it. There's no reason to do it.
You don't want to do the bit?
I don't want. No.
Mac, do the bit.
No.
Do the bit.
No.
Do the bit. Do it.
Morning, Luckies! Welcome back to the Lucky Channel. It's me, your navigator, Makon Crayley, and I'm here with a son of a bitch. Son of a bitch, how are you today?
Yeah, that's more like it, isn't it? You gotta love the smell of bent metal in the morning, eh?
I mean, look, yeah, true. I mean, they tried. They definitely tried.
Yep, they definitely tried. How are you doing, everybody? Today, welcome back to the slowest growing Battlebots podcast in all of creation. My distinguished colleague over here has already kicked us off. So how about we just move right on into the round of 32?
Oh, hell yeah! We are here. We have made it. It's been 15 weeks. Now we're at week 16. And we are at the tournament. So let us...
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so let us kick off with Witch Doctor versus Jackpot.
In a word, Mac, brutality.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my brutality.
Jackpot did actually seem to start out with an opportunity to land a few hits on Witch Doctor, didn't quite manage to get it going, and once those very slim windows closed, they never reopened again because Witch Doctor just absolutely obliterated Jackpot in this fight. Complete and total destruction of the budget bot from Vegas. Gotta say, though, gotta give him credit where it's due. Jackpot held up a very long time against those monster hits from Witch Doctor.
True. But then again, they didn't even get a chance to do anything to Witch Doctor, so... You can take as many hits as you want, but, like, if you're not gonna win the fight, then... yeah.
I don't know, you gotta remember the John Dorian principle. He fractured 2 knuckles where I only fractured 1 skull.
I mean, true. Actually, then again, we also saw a fight later on where, like, it was kind of this, but then it didn't.
This is a good point.
But yeah, like, Jackpot, still a very sturdy robot, but Witch Doctor is seemingly unbeatable. Like, just about unbeatable.
Well, we've already seen it be beaten,
well,
so
yes.
It's not unbeatable.
Well, no, well, I said, that's why seemingly.
Seemingly harmless.
Oh, God. Yeah. What a fucking first fight.
But yeah, right away, Witch Doctor looking absolutely unstoppable in this fight, and yeah, it looks set to go on a deep run into the tournament. Of course, that's going to depend upon who it faces coming up, but yeah, we've got some hellacious fights in store with that.
We do.
Our second fight of the night, one that my distinguished colleague has already alluded to, the one where Lucky gets got by Hypershock.
He tried his best. He flipped Hypershock over. That's all you can expect.
Yeah, credit where it's due. Lucky's fork configuration in this fight did little, although they did manage to get Hypershock inverted at one point, which is exactly the position that you want to get Hypershock in, as we've seen that's a recipe for being able to beat it. P1 managed to beat Hypershock by getting it inverted in the past as well. Other than that, though, Lucky didn't really have any answer for anything that Hypershock could throw at it, and throw at it, Hypershock did, just smashing Lucky in the face, punch after punch. with Lucky demonstrating the Rocky Balboa defense of blocking every shot with its face.
Quite literally.
Except this time, Rocky doesn't come back to win the fight.
Unfortunately, it's very unfortunate. We're not gonna have a good winner this season. But look, credit where Lucky, you did really well this season. Actually, really well this season. But unfortunately,
definitely a great performance by Lucky this season compared to previous years. Like they definitely had the robot dialed in this time. They just had a rotten luck to face one of the higher tiered machines.
Yeah, true. Like, who knows how it will go next season? Like, but yeah, good effort, guys. Yeah, Hypershock.
Definitely.
Yeah, and this was the best Hypershock that's looked in a while.
Hypershock always looks great. Let's be real.
I mean, true, but like
even with its losses this season, it still looked great. I mean, remember it seemed to be like on the back foot leading up, and then it fought Claw Viper, who had looked unstoppable up to that point, and fucking wrecked Claw Viper in the process.
Yeah.
Lucky had performed very well this season up until it faced Cobalt, and then it has 2 rough losses back to back, Cobalt and then Hypershock. But credit to them for getting to the round of 32 this year.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the Rocky blocking every shot with your face principle, we also have Lockjaw versus Bloodsport, a big rematch from previous years where Lockjaw had managed to get the win over Bloodsport in their previous. And let's be real, Mac, in terms of drama, this was an amazing fight.
Oh, hell yeah. Like, both, just came out swinging. Like, Lockjaw had his, what's the configuration called for, the twin blades?
That was the plow.
The plow, sorry, the plow, yes. Like, what, yeah, so, I should know that word.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, Lockjaw had that, and they put it to, real good use in this fight.
Oh, yeah, fantastic use, doing a great job of defending against everything that was thrown at it. And that being said, Bloodsport managed to get some very, very strong hits in on Lockjaw to the point where Lockjaw was absolutely crippled in terms of mobility towards the end of the fight. It was losing wheels and tires, and it looked as though if this had gone to a decision, Bloodsport would have definitely taken it. But Bloodsport, unfortunately for them, this is a story of durability, and this is also a demonstration of how one shot on either side can change the outcome of a match. As their hubris ended up causing them to hit Lockjaw again and end up inverted. Unfortunately for them, at that moment was the moment that their weapon motor decided to die on them, and they could not self-right themselves. So, badly hurt, but still functional, Lockjaw manages to survive the fight, and Bloodsport, always a strong threat, gets counted out.
What an insane, come from behind victory this was. One of the fucking biggest in, I think the entire series.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And Donald Hudson showing once again why he is not to be messed with. This has been such a fantastic comeback season for him. This has been an amazing comeback season for a lot of different teams. Just massive improvements all around, and the return of Huge to prominence as well, as we'll come to later. And now Lockjaw making it all the way to the round of 16 after going with no victories last year.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, I love to see it because I like this team.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and next week we have Lockjaw versus the Witch Doctor.
Which is absolutely insane when you consider the fact that despite having competed in this tournament together for several years, these two teams, they've never actually fought each other.
It's insane. You'd think with all that history, they would be matched up at some point, but two legends fighting for the first time.
Yeah, and for a spot in the round of 8 as well. That's gonna be absolutely crazy.
It is. That's to be a fun one. Even Lockjaw probably doesn't have that big a chance against Witch Doctor, but also they literally just came from behind to beat Bloodsport, so you never know.
One thing we've seen, you never count Donald Hudson out.
True.
Because he can absolutely shock you.
Absolutely fucking true.
Yeah. And it's going to be absolutely insane. I cannot wait to see this fight.
It should be
And
awesome.
it's with two teams we absolutely love. But you know what's up next, Mac? It's a team we absolutely don't love.
Yes, of course, it's Shatter! We hate you, Shatter, man.
You ruined it. You ruined it, and I'm leaving.
Bye! Shatter versus Riptide. Big drama going into this fight.
Oh, yeah. Controversy reigns here as Riptide were caught working on their robot after they'd already officially weighed in. Now, for those who don't know, there's a rule where once the weigh-in is complete, you cannot modify your bot further, with the exception seeming to be purely cosmetic changes for things like walkouts, but even then, you need to clear that with the producers. Allegedly, this was not cleared with the producers beforehand, and the Shatter team were not aware of any such changes that were to be made. So, yeah. When the Riptide team were caught working on their robot in a little hidden area by one of the members of the Shatter team, if I'm remembering right, it was Eric Wrigley. This got back to Adam, and Adam insisted on a reweighing of Riptide in order to meet requirements and things of that nature, and to rule out any possibility of cheating. Now, there has been some scuttlebutt about the scales being somewhat unreliable in regards to why Riptide might have come in 2 pounds lighter than it was from the actual weigh-in. Either way, there was a lot of controversy at play here. Apparently, in total, Riptide was weighed 3 times and had to be retested in the actual test box, and this did not sit well with Ethan and co. Gasp.
Yeah, like, he was salty as fuck.
Yeah. Now, supposedly, it was just Riptide. Now, according to one of the team members, Sid, they were just fitting a fake axe onto the machine for their walkout as basically a little joke at the expense of Shatter. Right, okay, so I'm going to just read out a little bit from Sid's explanation that was posted on the Out of the Arena Discord. I can't believe BB didn't zoom in on the robot or mention what we actually did. We were literally duct taping a big crowbar to the weapon so we could pretend to be a hammer robot for the tunnel walkout. Anyone that looked at what we were doing could instantly tell it wasn't malicious. It was literally us taping a decoration to the robot for the sole purpose of swinging the crowbar for our fun walkouts. Stan was being sarcastic when he said we made it lighter, because if we were trying to cheat, we'd be making the robot heavier, if anything, not lighter, lol. We asked production to wheel the robot back to the pit tent and weigh the robot when this happened to show that we had nothing to hide. The robot showing up lighter is just a result of the scales being bad. I don't know what else to say about that. Obviously, if it had looked like we were actually modifying the robot, we would have had to talk to Greg, Trey, and production, and it would have been a thing. I'm not going to talk about anything else in the Discord now because mods have asked me not to fuel any fires. I'll go in detail about everything that happened that day and the day before and what was cut out on the Waiachi stream. And an additional post here, it's not tampering to duct tape a 3-foot-long pickaxe to your weapon. It's basically an extra weapon lock and just as much of a decoration as a tennis ball with a hat is to cover a hammerhead. No one was holding any tools, and even in the footage, Battlebot shows you can grab the pickaxe and the tape being grabbed to attach it. Sure, we should have let production know beforehand instead of telling them what we were doing after they asked, but anyone that was actually concerned about it could have just walked over and looked at what we were doing. It was pretty obviously non-malicious.
Now that seems pretty sus, though. Because, like, if it was literally just that, like, why the whole hubbub, like, about, being paranoid? But just say that, oh yeah, like, we were putting decorations on. Like, why wait months on end to say anything?
Yeah, and this is the thing as well. Sid has already, like, made some other fairly sus posts about Riptide in the past when trying to defend stuff like the Shredderator incident and things of that nature. And some people say give Riptide the benefit of the doubt, but the problem is somebody said this on Reddit, by the way. So I'm basically just going to paraphrase a comment that they've made here because this pretty much hits the nail on the head. Saying benefit of the doubt means nothing after you've acted in a way that loses it. The fact of the matter is, by every account, the Riptide team behaves like jerks and has been, if not breaking, then skirting the edge of the rules. That means you're going to be under a microscope, and anything you do that can be remotely seen as dishonest will be taken that way. Do better or get out. And that about sums it up.
Yeah, that's pretty perfect.
In any case, we move on to the actual fight itself. Setting the controversy aside, and Ethan saying that he was going to wreck Shatter in retaliation for this. Riptide did pretty much live up to its claims here, and Shatter put up a better fight against Riptide than half of the other machines so far have been able to. It must be said.
Yeah.
But all in all, this was still a very convincing Riptide victory as they battered Shatter all over the arena and ultimately left Shatter in kind of a splatter under the hammers. So
yeah, it's like just fucking docking hammers.
And ultimately, yeah, Shatter gets splattered and loses out by knockout. And after the fight, Ethan going out of his way to directly insult Adam by calling him paranoid on national TV. Adam handled himself in this situation about as well as he could have with gravitas and understanding and just refusing to address the insults and also refusing Ethan's, let's face it, completely insincere handshake.
Yeah, like he just... That was the perfect way to handle that. Like, if he even explains, like, afterwards, like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna shake someone's hand if they just straight up insult me on TV. Like, yeah, that's... Yeah, neither would I.
He makes it clear it's not the loss that's causing him this. It's not him being a bad sport. It's because Ethan directly insulted him. So, you know, of course he's not going to shake his hand in that situation. I wouldn't either.
Exactly. So. The best part of this fight was the audience throwing back the frisbees at Riptide's team.
Yeah, this is the thing. You can definitely see that the audience does not like Riptide at this point. Or at the very least, the people who've been to, like, multiple filming sessions, so they know what to expect.
Yeah, like, it's starting to reach the fucking fever pitch.
With that being said, though, what's up next? What is, in my opinion, the fight of the night. Claw Viper versus MadCatter. And it's sad to say, it's the end of Claw Viper's run, but what a run it was.
Yeah,
like, right, my dude? Yeah,
absolutely. Claw Viper, this entire season has been a fucking beast. They have been the best they have ever been. And they went out fucking strong. Like, if it wasn't for one error, they would have won this fight.
Yeah. Like, this was a pure sprint from start to finish, an absolute bomb fest. Claw Viper having the first half of the fight very convincingly with control and aggression on slams, Gassy Cat getting blown up, and this was just an absolute treat to watch. The sign coming down. The sign coming down actually weighs in as part of what causes the ultimate loss for Claw Viper, but we'll come to that later. But yeah, in the latter half of the fight, unfortunately for Claw Viper, they hit MadCatter in such a way that their weapon, that the lifting arm went directly into MadCatter's vertical spinner, which ultimately did seem to stop working later in the fight, but this cost Claw Viper dearly, as with its reduced weapon effectiveness and also partially driving over the now fallen Battlebot sign, causing it to lose some of its drive power, or at the very least some of its stability. It gets inverted, isn't unable to properly recover before the end of the fight. It goes to a judge's decision. MadCatter just barely gets the nod in a split decision. But what an absolute war this fight was. It was incredible.
Yeah, like, this was easily the fight of the night. Like, we just put the award up right here, right now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just, it's just such a fantastic fight. Kevin ends up appealing the decision, as you would expect him to do so in this situation. Razor Finn, split decision, and it's either that or, go out. And you don't want to go out without firing all of your bullets. So, like, he hasn't had to use an appeal up until now, so he might as well use it now. The decision does stand, and he accepts it gracefully. Martin also seems to take no offense to the fact that he, appealed the decision, like completely understanding. You can tell these teams get on incredibly well.
Indeed.
And, yeah.
a stark contrast to the previous fucking fight.
Yeah. But yeah, this was just absolutely fantastic. And honestly, I can see the rationale behind the appeal. You could argue that MadCatter didn't really do anywhere near as much in the second half of the fight when they were on top as Claw Viper did during the first half of the fight.
Yeah,
But ultimately, I do think that the decision was correct, but I can definitely see the wiggle room, and if the decision had been reversed, I wouldn't have been upset about that either.
Exactly. Like, this was as close a fight as you're ever gonna get on this show. Like, it was literally 50-50. This is the perfect, like, split decision.
Yeah. And it was so goddamn cool to see this. And it's been amazing seeing Claw Viper this season. I cannot wait to see what they have planned for next season, because apparently part of the reason that they weren't able to get themselves back over was due to an issue with one of the sprockets, I think. And was just like some standing battle damage from previous fights. Kevin's already got plans for next season in improvements that he's going to make to Claw Viper. I cannot wait to see it happen, because we've seen Claw Viper, like as Chris said, come out of nowhere to put the entire field on notice. We could be looking at a future champion.
Yeah, Claw Viper. I hope Claw Viper just keeps getting better and better, because if this season definitely is any indication, it's gonna win it, not like, if not next year, then at some point.
Yeah, and at this point, with these improvements, they learn so much more from a loss than they do from a win as well.
Exactly, yeah.
And they know exactly what they're going to be doing next time. I can't wait to see it. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the evolution of Claw Viper even more, because it went from zero to hero this season, and I absolutely loved seeing it.
Yeah, great work, guys. We'll see you next season.
And with that being said, MadCatter moving into the round of 16.
Yeah, he finally did it.
To say,
he finally did it.
Yeah, because I think MadCatter's made 2 previous tournament appearances and got knocked out in the first round.
Yes, correct.
So yeah, it's going to be great to see how far it can go. Unfortunately for them, they're up against the big story of the season as well. The other big comeback, a very big opponent that you might say is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, he is a large lad. He is huge, and he's just beat the Sid.
Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh yeah, don't call it a comeback. He's been here for years.
God, they just
That's right, Jonathan Schultz and Huge.
They should just give Huge like the Samoa Joe skin. Like the fucking like the dick tattoo on its face. Yeah, you do a skit like backstage where like where Huge gets kidnapped by ninjas. Like, not the team, just the robot.
Oh my god, that's insane. I love it.
But yeah, Huge with a big fucking victory over Skorpios today. And what a knockout this was.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Jonathan Schultz and Huge have come back this year, as said before, to put the entire field on notice. Huge, 5 fights so far, looked unstoppable in each of them. And at this point, yeah, honestly, Huge could go all the way to the crown at this point, because, right, so we'll discuss the fight itself first, and then we'll discuss Huge, because, obviously.
Right.
Huge rolled out the sunglasses armor in this case, in order to be able to hold up to any of Skorpios' potential weapon swings, and Skorpios did manage to inflict some damage on Huge in this fight, taking out both of the balance bars, but Huge landed surgical hits on both wheels and the weapon motor in order to basically just blow Skorpios apart and get the very convincing knockout win in a minute. It was a 1 minute long absolute slugfest. It was awesome to see. And Jonathan Schultz, you can just see how happy he is to finally have Huge back in full contention. Because Huge has always managed to reach the actual tournament each year, but it's never managed to get past the first round. And even then, it's had rough fights in the first round outside of its first year, where it was winning the fight against Bite Force as well, but fell apart due to the pre-existing damage from Ice Wave. But I'm getting away from myself here. The fact is, Huge is dialed in. Jonathan Schultz is absolutely lethal with his machine at this point, and we could be looking at the future champion.
We could, like, their path is, for all intents and purposes, less clear.
Yeah, because Huge is designed specifically to combat the four-wheel drive vertical spinner meta. And now that it's faced down and beaten all of the type of opponents that aren't four-wheel drive vertical spinners, which you know, obviously are the logical counter to it, all the way up to the potential final, it's facing four-wheel drive vertical spinners. We could see Huge beat the likes of Witch Doctor. I don't think anything has a hope to stop Huge until it fights Endgame. And even then, that's still a winnable fight for Huge, in my opinion.
Yeah. Because, like, arguably, Witch Doctor could, like, take out his wheels, but, like, even then, Huge is very dangerous.
Witch Doctor is a tough opponent for Huge, but I also think that's a very winnable fight for it.
Yeah, like, it's gonna be interesting to see, because Huge has been such a fucking good robot this year that, like, anything sort of, like, anything sort of Huge getting stuck in something, like, would be difficult to counter it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
You mean like when it fought Riptide and basically lost the fight because of the changes to the arena rather than due to Riptide itself?
Correct, yes.
Oh man, that was such a gutting loss for them.
It was.
Still, either way, it's going to be awesome to see how it goes.
Yep, and that is up against MadCatter, which should be also a very good fight.
Yeah, it will be an amazing fight, but I think that I honestly don't think MadCatter can beat Huge in this situation.
Probably not, like, because we've seen MadCatter's weapon, like, get taken out before, and, like, Huge is the perfect, like, weapon to take out that weapon.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Excellent fight. Excellent finale for it. Up next, we have Copperhead versus Rotator.
Ah, yes, the semi-main event of the evening, and it was a great showcase for Copperhead, who, despite a very game Victor Soto, did not look to be in any real danger throughout this fight, aside from one or two hits.
Indeed.
Yeah, as Copperhead managed to peel up various sections of armor, rip off the forks, ultimately take out Rotator's weapon, if I'm recalling correctly, as well.
Yes.
And Copperhead remaining very functional all the way to the end. It was a judge's decision, but it was clearly not a close decision.
Yeah.
As I had Copperhead for aggression control and damage in all areas in this one.
Yeah.
Credit to Victor Soto where it's due, though. He did hang in there for a very long time against a very, very tough opponent.
Yeah, like by the end, like they were sort of limping, like it was, but like, yeah, like it was still like a very good fight.
Yeah, for sure. In any case, yeah, Copperhead advancing into the next round, and who do we have Copperhead due to fight, Mac?
Well, Jack, they're due to fight the winner of the next fight is Endgame versus Tantrum, the main event.
Oh, yes. A great fight in this one as well that manages to go the distance, but we see Endgame reaffirm its supremacy once more. Tantrum showing promises in this fight, controlling the fight early on, but not really able to get a full advantage of its ground game victory over Endgame. And Endgame coming back strong, ripping Tantrum's face open, takes it all the way to the judges, but it's easily Endgame's fight. And a fantastic main event as the reigning champion and the former champion, the once and future king, Endgame, manages to reaffirm its supremacy.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is also the last that we're going to see of Tantrum, in case you're unaware.
Wait, what?
Yes. Right. Okay. So apparently, Tantrum was actually planned to be retired after last season, up until they actually won the title itself.
Okay.
It's like, okay, we've got to keep Tantrum going for at least one more season. The plan was to retire Tantrum and bring in a multi-bot called the Twins, which is currently in progress, from what I understand.
I'm immediately imagining like the fucking enemy from Binding of Isaac, like the fucking the thing with like the little fetus. Okay.
But yeah, so honestly, you can't ask for a better loss for Tantrum to go out on losing to another former champion who may well go all the way to win it all, because a lot of people have Endgame tipped to win the title this year, and honestly, I could definitely see it.
Honestly, yeah, like Endgame is always a great like choice for like someone who could definitely win the nut, like in any season, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like we've said all throughout this season, there are at least 10 different teams you could see as champion in the lineup. Of those teams, Endgame is like top 3.
Absolutely, yeah. Like they are, with one exception, like they've been practically unstoppable like this season.
Yeah, and even then, as much as we love Ripperoni, there were extenuating circumstances around Ripperoni's win there.
But still, like,
yeah. But yeah, Endgame could go all the way to the crown again this year, and honestly, fair shout to them if they do. Go Orange Bite Force, eh?
Yeah, true. Honestly, Copperhead does have a chance to beat it, I think. Like, but it would be very hard.
Yeah, if anyone's got a shot against Endgame, it's Copperhead.
Although, yet again, like, all Endgame really has to do is get around to the big-ass fucking wheel, and, there's pretty much GG from there.
Or hit it in the back, much like Ripperoni did.
Yeah.
Successfully knock out Copperhead.
Exactly.
Because Copperhead's super durable, but that appears to be its Achilles heel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. It's pretty much the same area as the Achilles. So yeah. Also, we didn't mention Riptide versus Hypershock next episode.
Oh,
not episode.
That's gonna be a war.
Next round. Yeah, sorry.
Speaking of next episode, though, now that we've come to the end of this episode, which, by the way, had amazing fights, top to bottom, this is easily one of the best episodes of Battlebots ever broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
What do we have on the cards next week, my dude?
Okay, so continuing on from last week's discussion about the brackets, I cannot speak. Starting off, number 1, Minotaur versus number 32, it's Fusion.
Oh. That's gonna be a really, really cool fight, but
look,
never count Fusion out. Fusion is an amazing machine, but the safe money is on Minotaur in that fight.
Like, I have money on both robots catching on fire.
I definitely see Fusion catching on fire, and I definitely see Fusion putting up a great fight.
Yeah. Imagine if both robots just fucking spent, like, the second the fight starts, they just, like, spontaneously combust and, like, fight while on fire. How sick would that be?
Dude, that would be insane.
Like, actual Dragon Ball Z fight.
Oh, yeah. That would be insane.
Switchback 16 versus Malice 17.
Oh, that's an interesting fight on paper as well. I personally am rooting for Switchback in that fight because I'd love to see how much more they can improve, and they've done a fantastic job this season compared to their previous rookie season. Malice has also come back very strong from previous seasons as well. At the same time, though, considering the circumstances behind one of its victories in the last year in this tournament, well, we'll see.
Yeah,
in any case, it looks to be a very, very promising fight, and we love the Malice team here. We love Bunny and her teammates. So I do hope that she and they can do very, very well in this fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is sorry.
It's a toss up of a fight, but it's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, this is pretty much like the perfect mid-card fight.
Yeah, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing which of these two makes it all the way to the round of 16 this time.
Yeah. Okay, number 8, Soulblades versus number 25, it's Blip.
Oh, that's going to be a very, very good fight. Soulblaze does not tend to work great against flippers historically. Like, both against Bronco and against Hydra, it's struggled. Will it struggle against Blip? Blip is an insane little machine, and I could definitely see it absolutely taking the fight to Soulblaze.
Yeah, like, I think if Soulblade can get behind Blip, like, and get a good strike on, like, its back, like, I think they could get the fight there. But yes. That's some sounds I need to cut out. Number 9, Cobalt versus number 24. It's your favorite, Monsoon.
Oh, yes. Oh, dude, that fight is going to be insane. Cobalt versus Monsoon. Battle of the UK boys as well. And honestly, this is... How can I even put this, really? It's like, Cobalt is absolutely a shout to go all the way to the crown as well. Monsoon, you do not want to count out because we've seen it be extremely impressive this year as well.
Yeah,
and I'm honestly, of the two, if I have to pick one to root for, I'm going to root for Monsoon because I absolutely love the team and I really want to see them go far. But at the same time, Cobalt could go all the way to the crown and become the very first Triple Crown heavyweight champion of the world, considering it's what the team has won the Robot Wars World Championship and won the crown over in China as well, but this is fighting robots.
Honestly, yeah, like, considering who's in this exact field with it, like, there's a very good chance that Cobalt can win this, like, this bracket at least, like, this side of the bracket.
Yeah, for sure, and whoever it fights on the other side will have their work cut out for them.
Indeed, yep, indeed they would.
So
okay.
Monsoon the underdog in this fight, but don't count him out just yet.
True. It's basically like the Unstoppable Force meets the Immovable Object.
Yeah, this is very true because Monsoon, very, very durable machine.
Oh, big flippy boy. Speaking of big flippy boy, Hydra, number 4, versus Death Roll, number 29, my guy.
Oh, yes. I have Hydra winning that fight. I unfortunately think that Death Roll isn't a shout to win the title this year, but I feel they'll come back very, very strongly next year with some improvements to the bot. Because obviously Death Roll has been sitting in a crate for a couple of years and they haven't really had the chance to properly make improvements to it. But I am very, very hyped to see what they can bring back in the future.
Yeah, true. I mean, at the same time, like, they are still, Death Roll. Like, they're still dangerous. It's just like, Hydra's been really fucking good this season too, so...
Yeah, this is true. I mean, Hydra's the number 4 seed for a reason. So.
Exactly.
And the only robot to beat Hydra was Tantrum.
Yes, and they're already out, so, like... Yeah.
Yeah. Every other fight Hydra's been in, it won very, very convincingly, including up against Soulblaze, who had looked unstoppable up to that fight.
Exactly. Okay, number 13 is your favorite, Beta.
Yes, Beta and John Reed.
Yep, and it's up against number 20, Whiplash.
I am definitely rooting for Beta in this fight. I like Whiplash, but I love Beta a lot more, and I really want to see John Reed go as far as he can. Of course, I can't really see Beta winning the crown this year, considering who it's up against in either of the next fights that it would get if it manages to win this particular bout.
Yeah, it's a very tough field for Beta to win, but, like, honestly, I can see them doing it, like, maybe not winning the whole thing, but, like, getting a good run.
It's an uphill battle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle for them at this point, but, John Reed does manage to pull this stuff off, as he has in the past. Like, he went all the way to the grand final with Terahertz in Robot Wars Series 6. Pretty much out of nowhere after its previous performance, and I would love to see Beta perform exceptionally well.
Yeah.
But yeah, considering who it will have to face if it manages to win this one, it's going to be very interesting either way.
Yeah, I don't see Whiplash, like, winning this fight. Okay. Number 5, Quantum is your favorite. As I'm just saying that about all the British robots. And 28.
Them boys, they're in my fave 5.
they're in your fucking stable. Yeah, this is an easy one for Quantum.
Yeah, Quantum versus your boy Ribot. Yeah, my money's definitely on Quantum in this fight. Like, not to count Ribot out, but Quantum has looked borderline unstoppable this year. It's insane just how massively improved Quantum is. It's just a fucking beautiful machine. It's a work of art in terms of engineering. And Ribot has not looked its best this season.
It has not. Like, it was a killer last season, but not so much this season.
Yeah, it's like Quantum is definitely going to have to bring their A game to this fight because you never want to count Ribot out, and Ribot may well bring out its vertical spinner configuration in order to fight Quantum, which is generally at its most threatened when up against vertical spinners. But I think that Quantum has this fight, and I would love to see it chow down on some Frog.
Exactly. And finally, speaking of chowing down, it's number 12, our guys, Ripperoni, versus
yes.
versus number 21, it's the Black Dragon.
Yes, number 12 seeds, friends of the podcast, Ripperoni. Shout out to you guys. We love you. Mac is again very, very pleased with that photo that you included for him.
Yep, I've tried pizza. I've tried more pizza. It is.
Oh yeah, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, like it because like I'm still getting like the ham and cheese like stuffed crust like without a sauce. So it's that.
Okay.
The stuffed crust is fucking amazing. Like that's the actual best part of the pizza.
Yeah, you just needed to find out the pizza that was right for you.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And up against Black Dragon. Black Dragon has had its KO streak ended at this point, but it's still a very, very threatening machine and could potentially go far. I am definitely rooting for Ripperoni in this fight, and I cannot wait to see how well they perform and see if they too can manage to fulfill the KO of the Black Dragon.
Like, I hope they can find a way to beat Black Dragon, but Black Dragon is historically a very tough robot to beat.
Oh yeah. Like, even in decisions, it's still an uphill battle to fight Black Dragon. It's going to be an insane fight either way.
Yeah, this should be fucking excellent. I could see this being like the opening match of like next week.
Like, this is definitely one of if not the best BattleBots tournaments we've ever seen lined up in terms of raw ability in terms of the overall teams. Every team has been fantastic, and I cannot wait to see what the later stages of the tournament look like as well, because like just look at so many potentially amazing fights that we've got to look forward to.
Indeed. Like,
and as we saw in this episode, we saw some of the best fights ever, and it was just a top to bottom amazing card. And this one to come looks to be similarly fulfilling. So
I feel like next week could actually be even better than this week, because like this week there wasn't any bad fights, but like there were some like some lower fights, I guess, in general. But like next week could like there's only really one like low fight, and that's like Fishback versus Malice, and even then that could be like a sleeper hit.
Yeah, for sure. And I can't wait to see how it goes. So with that, Matt, do we want to discuss the post-show?
Yes, we do. So they are starting a new thing, the Road to the Giant Nut, a post-show talk show, where they talk to the builders and see what damage has been done and all that.
Yep, they did a autopsy on Shatter with Adam Wrigley and interviewed him about the situation with Riptide, where he very eloquently put everything out there on the table, justified himself very well. Adam came out of this looking absolutely brilliant, in my opinion, and, honestly, I love the Bots FC team, so I can't wait to see them back next year. And, yeah, here's hoping that we get to see more of this. Absolutely loved the Botopsy, where, we got an in-depth look at all the damage that Shatter sustained in that fight. And, yeah, we also got a great little segment with Jameson Go and Aaron from Blip, and yeah.
that was like so charming.
Yeah, this is the thing. I love this show. This show has so much charm. There's so much character to this section, and you know what? The more BattleBots we get, the better, in my opinion. Yeah,
like when you put aside like all the drama sort of aspects of stuff, like when you get like it's just like a bunch of like fun nerds having fun.
Yeah, definitely.
You love to see it. Yeah, like I have high hope for next week's one. Like I hope we get some cool shit.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be an insane fight. So with that, shall we move on to the awards of the week?
Yes. Okay, so let's start off with the best driver, because I don't think we actually decided on who was gonna win that.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good shouts for this in this particular episode. You could very strongly argue for Witch Doctor with its absolutely surgical destruction of Jackpot, which is also a very strong shout for KO of the week, but we'll come to that later. Lockjaw, potentially, because of the way that it was able to defend against Bloodsport so well, even, down to its last legs in order to get the win. Huge with its fantastic blowing up of Skorpios as well.
Yeah.
Endgame overcoming Tantrum, and Tantrum is incredibly well driven in and of itself. Copperhead just making the fight with Rotator, again, an insane driving skill of Victor Soto. Copperhead overcoming Rotator in a way that made it look easy. There are a lot of potential shouts for this as well.
Yeah, like I'll be honest, I have no idea who to pick.
Honestly, if Claw Viper had won its fight against MadCatter, that probably would have locked it for best driver.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it was not to be.
Hmm.
So personally, I would go with Huge for its victory over Skorpios with its brilliant shots on Skorpios' otherwise unreachable wheels and weapon motor in order to score an incredibly strong KO.
Honestly, I would say I'd probably actually agree with that, because like that final hit was absolute perfection, and like just the amount of damage it did to the wheels is phenomenal.
Absolutely. Just fantastic performance from Huge. So congratulations, Jonathan Schultz. You got yourself a Best Driver nom. We've already awarded Fight of the Night to Claw Viper versus MadCatter, so we'll have that out of the way now.
Yeah. But also in that fight, Claw Viper wins the Best Loser.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. Best loser for Kevin Milcheski in this one. Thank you so much for a fantastic run this year, Kevin. We cannot wait to see you next time. And yeah, it's going to be insane seeing what Claw Viper can bring to the table in the future. So best loser and Fight of the Night for you. You go out on your back, but you've nothing to be ashamed of.
Actually, we probably should have done this one first. Knockout of the Night for Huge.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. It's Knockout of the Night. It's going to be either Huge versus Skorpios, or it's going to be Witch Doctor's utter dismantling of Jackpot, which was incredibly sturdy.
I mean, that's true as well.
Was basically rendered into absolute wreckage.
Okay, so I feel like, which one do you think was more impactful?
Well, let's see. The Witch Doctor one was more prolonged.
Yep.
Whereas the Huge one was more of a flash knockout. So
true, but honestly, like Jackpot was like just a fucking heap like by the end of that fight.
This is true, but you could argue the same of Skorpios in some ways.
I mean, actually, yeah, true.
Not as severely though. So
yeah, true.
I think it's a tie between those.
You know what? Since it's a tie, where is it? Hang on, give me 1 second. And there it is. I am going to flip a coin, my lucky 50-cent coin that I use all the time. So, give me one for Witch Doctor, heads or tails.
Heads.
Okay, and the winner of the of the Knockout of the Night is Witch Doctor.
Yep, nothing to be ashamed of there for Huge runner-up for that.
Absolutely. And
Spike Dudley award.
Yes, Spike Dudley, yes. And there's literally only one person who could win this one, and it is the Lockjaw Man.
Yep, Lockjaw gets the Spike Dudley underdog performance of the night for its victory over Bloodsport. So shout out to Donald for that one.
Excellent work. Excellent work coming from behind.
Oh yes, definitely. So with that, Mac, do we have anything that we want to discuss in our off-topic segment of the week?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh yeah, how was it?
It was honestly really good. Like, it was the best Marvel movie in a while.
It's a shame that I've lost interest in the Marvel movies at this point.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Like, I would say I get how much did you like the Guardians movies?
Guardians 1 I liked a lot when I saw it.
Okay.
Guardians 2 I thought was alright. But
okay,
yeah, I'm not really that attached to it, and you know that I don't particularly like Chris Pratt either. So.
I mean, true. Like, I would still say when it's available for you to watch. I'm not in cinemas, but I guess on Disney Plus or whatever the fuck, like give it a watch because honestly, it is really good. Like, yeah, I would say it's the second best Guardians movie. Like, it still has like some issues, like some of the Marvel issues, but like overall, like the plot's like really good. Like, it's really like actually it has some heart to it. It's like yes, it's a very good movie. It's I believe it's like the last James Gunn Marvel movie
Yes, that makes sense.
because he's like doing DC now. But yeah,
Fair enough.
I highly recommend it.
Cool. I'll check it out at some point then, maybe. But yeah, I've got a lot of other things I need to watch right now.
Yeah,
as well.
fair. We still need to watch that other movie. Those two movies.
Fair enough. Okay, so that wraps up our off-topic segment of the week. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about, Mac?
Not really. Like, I mean, like, because I finished like the first season of The Good Place as well.
Yes. How
Yes.
did you find that, my friend?
I thought it was excellent.
It was, wasn't it?
Like
Well,
that last
buckle up.
episode was perfect.
Buckle up, dude. You've got 3 more seasons to watch, and it only gets better.
I thought there were only 3 seasons, or there were 4.
Nope. 4 seasons.
Huh. Okay. Well, hell yeah. Cause I'll probably get to that like. Actually, I might even start watching some like once we're done here. Unless you want to watch that.
Yep.
Unless you want to watch a movie.
Yeah, I'm not really available to watch a movie.
Okay, no, that's fine, dude.
Right, I was
yeah,
out late last night, so yeah.
Yes, you're having a fun time, big party boy.
Well, perhaps. In any case, signing off from the navigator himself, Makon Crayley,
Yep.
here on the Lucky Star channel. I am your never popular host, Jack Finney. We love you. We look forward to seeing you on the other side of the bracket. Until then, take care. Stay safe.
So long.